Hey there, Amy. How you doing?
All right, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Great.
What are things like up in your neighborhood?
Finally getting some more seasonal weather, so that's good. Yeah,
Starting to cool off, huh?
yeah, a little bit.
That's good. That's really good.
How about
And
you?
oh yeah, we had. I mean, it's a beautiful day today. It's going to be
Yeah.
up to 90, but it takes a while to get there. So it's 90 about 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow.
But right now out there it's like 75. So it's
Oh, not bad.
yeah, not
Yeah.
bad at all. Can live with that. I can do 90 standing on my head after living in Arizona.
Yeah,
It's fine.
right.
90, I'm breaking out the small lightweight jackets.
Oh, chilly.
Yeah, getting a little chilly. Got to put something on my arms. All right. So did you send your new postcards off to Rob?
No, I didn't.
Okay, we'll
I
do
didn't
that.
even think about it actually
Yep.
because I'd already said that. But yeah,
No,
I'll send a set.
everybody sends them.
Sure.
Whenever you do one, absolutely
Yeah.
send it in.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to try to get you some more press as well from our end. So,
Hmm.
but I thought we'd talk a little bit about promotions because I think
Great.
that there might be a little bit of confusion between marketing and promotions. Marketing is the activity and the promotional tool is what we do, so marketing is of course sending out emails to people. The email you send out is the tool. So
Mm.
in your case, you've got these 4 beautiful cards, which I'll share with everybody. You've got a Decadence,
Mhm.
which has copy on the back. Great copy. It just, all you do in your copy, did you write this copy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good copy. Because what
Thanks.
you're doing is just reinforcing the message. So here's
Mhm.
savor and delicious. And after decadence, we had the style, which is product photography. You can see on the back here. And a couple of people asked me a question, and I was going to catch you on the next time we were all together, but I was going to ask you,
Oh.
what are your plans for these cards? Are we going to send them all out at one time? Are they going to go out individually to different clients? Or
Oh yeah, just individually. I have one specifically for product clients, one for food and beverage, one beverage, and then one just for more like desserty and
okay,
that sort of
and
thing.
you have
With the
your
chocolate
list, your
on it.
targeted list in those.
Yeah. So I've only sent out a couple so far. I'm just going to send them out as I get addresses.
What kind of envelope? Same as you sent me?
No, I bought clear plastic envelopes, so you can see what's there immediately, and even if the person who gets it or is supposed to get it isn't interested, maybe someone else along the way will be interested. We'll see
Yes.
it. So yeah.
Yes.
Did you?
I will warn everybody. I just saw an article last week where I think it was on Medium, some young person, it's always a young person, she was furious over clear plastic envelopes.
Oh, destroying the environment.
Oh, yeah. And so
Yeah,
when
I know.
I went outside and I looked at the environment and I thought, boy, Amy sends one more of those
I
goddamn
know, it's
plastic
all my
envelopes.
fault.
This is going to shit in a handbasket fast. So just know that sentiment is out there. I have not seen it personally, nor have I heard anybody complaining about it other than this young lady who was just apoplectic.
Well, it is something I consider. I do limit
Sure.
my plastic use wherever I can.
Yeah, and I think we all do, but I know I do. I don't do plastic water bottles and stuff like that. I do refillable water bottles. I mean, I do my part, but I can't really can't justify not doing that, because that kind of plastic is just recycled. So it's so thin, it's so easy to do.
That's what I was gonna say. If
It's
she's,
Mhm.
gone.
that's what I was gonna say. If she's really that worried about the environment, she was probably just trying to make noise for attention. Because if she was that worried about the environment, she could just put it in the recycled bin.
Yeah, like it's interesting. In California, where we're headed to on tomorrow, in California, they don't give you plastic shopping bags. You
Oh, yeah.
are supposed to bring your own shopping bag, right? And the people giving you the shopping bags, they have an iPad and an iPhone, computer. They're sucking up more electricity in their lives than we did in the analog days, in a decade. But I guess everything is relative. Anyway, beautiful card set, Amy.
Thank you.
Really,
you-
really super nice.
Did you go through clear bags to get your envelopes?
Yeah, I did.
Did you get the 6x9 or did you get the 6 1/4 by 9 1/4?
Yeah, it was a 6 1/4 by 9 1/4,
Okay,
I think,
'cause-
because it's just oversized enough that I have to pay extra postage
Yeah.
on it.
Well,
Yeah.
I made the mistake of getting 6x9s. You can't get more than one postcard in a 6x9 if you don't go up the little bit.
So you go, what you do is you go over to Kinko's, guys. Go to Kinko's, take your cards and have them trim in 1/8 off the card.
Yeah.
They'll put it in that thing. They'll charge you $1, maybe $1.50, and you trim your cards by 1/8. 1/8 at the top or at the bottom and 1/8 along whichever left or right side you want to do. They can take off a 32nd if you want them to.
Wow.
Because have you ever seen those cutters?
Mm-mm.
They put them in, then they have this compressor that comes down, and when it compresses them, it presses them almost till they're like a single item, right? And then that blade drops down, and it can take a 32nd off those cards for you.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it will save you. That will save you in postage.
It will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6x9 is the biggest you can send. If it's anything over that, you pay another, I want to say 20 cents, 22 cents, something like that.
Yeah, I need 2 stamps to send each one out.
Oh, damn. Yeah. Go get them trimmed, Amy.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
I didn't
looking
even
at
know
them
that
here.
was
I
a
think
possibility.
you take a 30
Yeah.
second off each side of there. You should fit
Yeah.
fine.
All right.
Very nice. I also have a couple of other things. I get this stuff from this goofy guy. Goofy guy in Columbus. I don't know what the hell he's thinking. But anyway, Mark's beautiful, beautiful cards, Mark. Just gorgeous. Now, these are definitely oversized. These are, what size?
Those are 6x9.
6x9s. Are they?
The-
Oh, Amy, yours aren't 6x9. What size envelope are you using?
I'd have to let me check the order information. It might be 6x8. I don't remember.
Yeah, they're 6x8. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
6x8.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the width that made them just a little oversized.
Yep, take it off to the side. Well, Mark has beautiful cards. Mark's cards are double-sided. So he's got a watch on one side and sunglasses on the other side. Still trying to talk Mark into going down to the dollar store and buying about 40 of these things and selling them for $60 on eBay. Look at that photograph. That's like a $60 pair of sunglasses, folks. They were $1 at the dollar store. So anyway. And don't think, Mark, that other people aren't doing it. They are. They
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. That's
And
Amazon.
Product. What's that?
I said that's Amazon right there. They go to that
Yep.
that drop ship company in India.
Well, they go to Alibaba.
Yeah.
Go to Alibaba, order it from the Chinese, get it shipped over here. If somebody can find a boat. And Mark, so tell us what your plan is with your cards. These are very nice.
The one with the drink and the chocolate on the back, and the one with the martini glasses I'm sending to bars and restaurants. And then the ones with the products are going to stores like mom and pop stores. I sent some to a flower shop, stuff like that. Yeah, that's the one that was printed wrong. I have them reprinted.
I thought it was clever. I thought it was
Oh,
really
did
clever.
you like it that way?
Yeah, I thought it was really clever. It's just fine.
Yeah, I have some that I got reprinted. It goes the other way.
Yeah, don't throw those away.
No, I'm using them.
No. You can
I
still use
sent them
those.
out.
Beautiful.
Now,
Cards are really, really important.
Do you print them yourself or do you send them out?
Those were from Overnight Prints.
Okay.
It's 21, right around $21 for 25 prints, double-sided, and it's a good paper. It's a good finish. You
Yeah,
don't
they
get,
really feel nice. Amy's feel so nice when you touch them. You know, when you pick up like a cheap postcard in the travel in the mobile stations up on the res or something, you can feel that the paper's terrible. The ink is, you can feel the ink on your fingers. It's weird. These are just gorgeous. They I think, well, I know Overnight Prints, you put the coating on it. Amy, is yours coated?
You know, I didn't go with an extra coating. It's just whatever is standard for that.
So it's just, yeah. So it doesn't have a satin coating over them. I think all
No,
these,
no.
it doesn't have the satin? No?
Well, I don't know what their standard coating is. They don't really tell you.
Yeah, it's satin.
So it is, okay.
Yeah, but they do put a coating on it.
You can get a gloss coating on top of it, but I don't like gloss, so
No.
yeah, I opted not to.
That Don Dobkin did this magazine, and Amy's done a magazine as well. How many pages was yours, Amy? 8?
24, I think.
24. That's right. It was really big.
It was big.
It's over there. Don did this. I got to tell you, I was shocked at the quality of the new paper that they're using at Blurb. It is so good. It's as good as if not better than most magazines down on the rack. It's thicker than your regular magazine stock by at least 20 pounds. It takes the ink beautifully. It's really awesome. Really, really awesome. Lauren sent me his cards. Lauren did a set of cards. I think these are 4x6, I believe. 4x6 cards, a little small. They're single-sided, but he's going to be using them as a collection of cards. So they'll get the selection rather than one card at a time. Really, really nice stuff. And I'm not going to untie this, but this is from Anjali. It's a set of 6 note cards with 6 envelopes. So not only is it a promotional piece for her, it's something that somebody can use. They could actually take the note card, send a little note and send it out. This is a brilliant promotion.
I was
Not
thinking
inexpensive, but also not going to break the bank. You're not going to send this to somebody whose name you got off of LinkedIn. You're going to send this to somebody you've worked with before, somebody you know you can do it. What a beautiful little set of cards.
I was thinking,
do it yourself.
I was thinking about doing the same thing because I put the prints for sale, those 5 prints from Maine.
Yep.
I was thinking about printing them off as a postcard, single-sided postcard, and then sending them out, like not necessarily all 5, but 1 or 2 of them along with promotional material as like a little.
Do this, Mark. You've got your 5 prints, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they buy a print, they get 5 postcards. Just print them yourself. Print the 5 postcards out. And so they get to print, they get 5 postcards free.
Well, I meant promotional because I'm doing this set of 5. So I was thinking of doing, like, when I send one of the marketing postcards out, putting in a couple of the main prints as like a gift, or
You
just
can do
something.
that. Yeah, you can do that as well. A photographer here in Phoenix, in Arizona, John Running. And to show you how things are, by the way, the reality that we all think we know the reality. Arizona is a not a terribly populous state, but we do have the 5th largest city in the United States, which is Phoenix, metropolitan Phoenix. The two biggest photographers that we had in Phoenix, I mean in Arizona, lived in Flagstaff, John Running and Sue, and I can't remember Sue's last name. Sue was on her way to LA to shoot a job for McDonald's and was hit by a drunk driver, killed out on the streets by a drunk driver. But Sue and John were the two largest, biggest names, recognizable names we had in Arizona, and they lived in Flagstaff. So location doesn't guarantee success. If you can work it from Flagstaff, you can work it from anywhere. What John Running would do is he'd take a picture that he did last year, and he'd take it and he would, all right, Doug, take care. Took a picture that he had done last year, and he would make 100, I believe they were 11 by 14 prints, signed and numbered in an acid-free little case thing that he'd put it in, right? And beautiful stuff. And he would target 100 clients a year. That's it. And he'd send them this image. Now, John Running's prints, oh, he's retired now, but John Running's prints at the time were probably going between $750 and $1,500 for a signed print. So he's actually giving them a $750 print, right? And as he tells the story, so, like some of those things probably end up in the round file because nobody, cared, didn't investigate it. But all he was looking for was 3 or 4 clients. That's all he was looking for. And he never missed. He always got 3 or 4 clients from it. He was an annual report photographer back when annual reports were the big, really, really big deal. If you shot 4 annual reports like John Running did, you'd probably be, that's probably the only job you'd have to do that year. He averaged between $40,000 and $75,000 an assignment. So they were huge, huge jobs. And that was in the late 80s, early 90s. So you can imagine the kind of money that would be today. They don't do annual reports anymore. So anyway, like that. So you can actually do that with art, just a single piece of art. Not a bad idea, Mark. Whatever you do with your promotions, it has to follow your brand, of course. So you have to really, really think it through. And I think that you guys have, I think Mark's and Amy's, they really do follow your brand. They're compact, they're nice, they're sweet to have, that they feel really good, they're tactile, and that follows the brand. We're going to do a class on building a promo, and it starts next week. It's a freebie. You'll be able to get a link to it next week up to where you can do it. I'm doing it with the mentorship group. So they will be having the conversations that you guys will have privy to as the video. But at the end of the 7 weeks, you should be ready to go to print with a nice promo piece, whether it's magazine, postcard, or poster. Oh, wait a minute, all 3. Whether you do it or not, doesn't matter. But if you've never thought about doing a poster, we're doing small posters, 1117, 1920, that type of 1922, I guess it is, that type of poster, not your giant wall posters. I don't even recommend those. Actually, nobody has room for them anymore. So they go right into the round file. So, but an 11 by 17 can be very, very nice. So we're going to talk about design trends, design styles, fonts, using typography, color, design, and as we build the templates out, they'll all be there for you to download. So I'm looking at this group, and I think all but Jennifer, Amy, and Chris are not in that group. So guys, watch for that. And we'll be pushing it like crazy. So that'd be fantastic. Jennifer, do you have a piece? Promotional piece?
Hi, Don. No, I don't. I'm just like learning from
Mm.
from
Okay.
others. But
right.
I'm considering like start doing it soon.
Yeah, well, you follow along with this class coming up. There'll be links on Facebook and on the Project 52 website. Okay, there'll be links
Yeah,
for you.
sure.
Follow along, you join in, and we'll be having a couple of meetings, open meetings during the class where you can come and ask questions and stuff.
Great. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, great.
Stephanie's here. Stephanie, you have 2 postcard sets, right? Stephanie, is Steph there? Oh, Stephanie is away. I will ask. Steph has 2 postcard sets that are really, really beautiful. And I wanted to chat with her about how she uses them. What she's got something. Is she on the chat? Okay, that was Duck. One more time. Steph, are you there? Hello? Okay. The way she was using her card, she had, just like you did, Amy, you made them for specific niches. She did the same thing and she sends those niche cards out. But if it's a ad agency or a PR firm, you don't know what they have. They have everything. You send them as a group. If that's your big promo for the year. I think, bottom line, a postcard a quarter, I think these days is just, you just got to do it. You got to do a postcard a quarter. You have to, or something, but you only have to do one big, like one big magazine per year is all that really you have to do. Anything else, you're just adding to whatever you want to do. If you've got the budget, go ahead and do it. But I think one big piece a year and 4 postcards, 1 per quarter, is a really nice campaign. Your email campaign, however, is 1 per month, just 1, not 2. And if you're very careful and very smart, you'll send it on the same day, like on the 5th of the month or the 10th of the month. It starts to get known. It won't be known the first 6 to 8 months of your career as you're doing it, but trust me, 3 years into it, people expect your email on the 3rd Thursday. Put it in the email, third Thursday of the month email from Lee, and let them, remind them. So then now they're looking forward to getting it. There's always something nice when you can get somebody to look forward to getting your promo piece. A little magic happens there. Pete's here. There was a question also about the difference between a postcard or a mailer like this and a leave behind. How do you make a leave behind different than a postcard? I don't think there is a difference, folks. You don't have to make a separate piece. Eric does. Eric Munities does. Eric creates a very specific piece that he does, that he leaves when he goes to a client, has a meeting with the client, and as he's leaving, he'll give them that. It's a very specific piece. It's not a piece he uses for mailing. Hey, Pete, did you get your prints yet?
Not yet.
Okay, they're in the mail.
Okay.
They're on their way. The guy at the post office said, "Could this address be any longer?" I said, "Yeah, probably. We could add another line or 2.
Oh, yes. It could be longer.
Oh, jeez. See, you got to figure, the address line, it's got to be 6 lines of stuff where Pete is up there in Scandinavia, right? It's like 6 lines. It's got to be a human there somewhere going, okay, I'll put this in this box. And then really, really crazy.
Steph's back now.
What's that?
Stephanie's back now.
Steph, you back?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, okay. You have 2 postcard sets, am I correct?
Yes, 2 sets, and they're 4 each.
And how are
plus,
you
like, a
using
bio.
them? I know that if it's an ad agency, you send the pack. But
Yeah,
if
that's
it's
what I mostly do is I send the pack. I have one that I can send individually. One or two.
Okay. Now that you're back, you hitting the road hard?
Um, I don't know the answer to that. It's just, I think everything that I've done is mostly word of mouth and, just clients speaking to clients. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do because everybody is so networked here at the
Yeah.
niche market that I'm trying to get. So, but I mean, like the other day I had a lady call me from an aviation. So Google, ads are great. She called me, she has an aviation repair maintenance place in Tucson and was looking for some photos and then ended up choosing not to do the photos, but I sent her, promo. And then maybe in another few months, I'll send her the next promo.
Sure.
So kind of, it's more of a follow-up thing, I guess. But,
Well, we've found with the agency that SEO just isn't enough. Our SEO score is good. We're just not coming up. So I hired a manager, Google AdWords manager, and I told her we had about $400 a month for a budget for the agency. And I said, well, I know that's not much. And she came back and said, oh no, for $400 a month, we can do a lot. So I was pretty impressed with that. It's like, yeah, bring that on. So Google AdWords is, I guess, the place to be. Even though the thought of making the Google guys even richer sickens me beyond any kind of imagination, but that's the place to be. $400 ad buy can do a lot. So we're going to have actually about a $500 a month ad buy. So we should be able to do really well. And we can't forget our, it's not all US based. We've got some European and we've got South African members as well. So we got to get those people in it as well. But we get retargeting for that as well. Retargeting is if somebody visits your website, Steph, and they don't, you know what it is, right?
yeah. And then
Yeah.
they're somewhere else on the web and it kind of brings it up.
Yeah. And she was saying that is like unbelievably dirt cheap right now. You ought to look into that.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried once and I forget there was a reason why I couldn't do it, but I'll look at it again.
There may be a limit. There may be a bottom line on how much you spend. So you may not be able to get retargeting for what you're spending, but we can at 4. So we're going to drive some traffic. Really going to drive some traffic. So she's really, really good. She came highly recommended. And our ads are, I think, check my email real quick. I think they're ready to go.
Does she do like a review? Does she have like a fee where she would charge just to do a review of your Google ad settings and stuff?
Oh,
person?
that I don't know, but she's not terribly expensive, Steph, at all.
So it would be nice to have an external, like the Google guys constantly call you, oh, we want to review your account, but all they want you to do is spend more money. So
Exactly.
it'd be nice to have a third party look at it.
Yeah, I mean, we're recording this so for the web, so I'm not going to do that. But when it's over, I will send you her information. Her name's Mignon. I will send her your information, and anybody who wants it. Pretty good. She charged me $125 to set up 2 orders, 2 ads. We can do A and B on, and it's all set up and ready to go. So
Awesome.
that was her.
I'd like to get that information too.
Amy, that was Amy.
I'd like to,
Sure.
yeah, I'd like to get that information too. Thank you.
And that was her premium price, Amy, because she's in South Africa. The gal that in New York that was also recommended to me does the same thing. She was $450.
Yeah.
Apparently South Africa has a lower, or whatever, the dollar is very high against South African, whatever that is. So cool. Yep. Super professional, working really great with her. And I hope that works. out for all of us. Okay. We're talking about leave behinds. Other kinds of promotions that you can do for leave behinds is something that someone else can use. Back in analog days, my most popular promo I did was I did a full page, 8.5 by 11, full page layout thing where you could sketch on it. I had the little soft grid lines running behind. I had a place at the bottom for the Pantone, special Pantone colors. It was everything a designer needed to design an ad. It was an 8.5 by 11 document on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, because at the bottom it had a list for who the illustrator is, who the printer is, and everything. And it said photographer, and I had it filled in lightly with my name. I was like, so I'm giving you this thing, you design an ad, you hire me, right? It was super highly received. I did it 2 times, 2 years in a row. And the third year I had people calling willing to pay for one. They go, we use them all the time. All I did was had a great big giant bunch of them made. It was just black and white made. And then they glued them together and put a cover sheet on them. And they glued them together. I think at the time I paid like 35 cents a piece for 25 sheets with a cover, all glue bound at the top. Try thinking outside the box a little bit sometimes. Just go a little bit outside the box and see what happens. What if you delivered a thumb drive? What if you delivered a SD card, right? An SD card that if they put in, it had a video of you and your images as a portfolio. It could be kind of cool. They could clear the SD card and use it in their camera if they wanted. But the point is, you're getting in front of them. So. All right. Any questions or comments from you guys about promotions? And I really do believe in printed promotions. Highly believe in them. Do you guys all follow photo editors, promotion stuff? Good.
Yep.
For those of you watching this video later, I'll put a link to that down in the bottom. All right. So that's all I got to talk about. I want to talk about promotions a little bit in this new class coming up for promotions so that you can follow along and create one. What else you got, guys? What else you got?
Hi, Don. I have a question because
Sure.
I've never done anything like that, like promotion or postcards or anything like that. So I'm wondering what do you put on those postcards? I mean, your name, your contact. Do you write something else like?
Yeah. I'll show you here. Amy did these. So Amy's got this, and then on the back, she has this little bit of copy, and it says, I'm a creative problem solver who works with brands large and small to deliver compelling, exciting images that stop the scroll and get results. Love to chat with you about how I can do the same for you. Okay, nice little card, right to the point, good information. Marks, no copy, 2 pictures. Let's chat. That's on all of Mark's. Let's chat. Mark Lund Jr., his phone number, the same thing on both sides of the card. So it can go from a paragraph to nothing, Jennifer. You're sending it to people who know why you're sending it. So you don't have to explain it to them. Yeah, so from one little paragraph to just your contact information. The key when you're putting one of these together is to not overthink it, and do not think that they need to see what they do. In other words, keep in mind that the art director that handles all the national ads, or the creative director of national ads for Taco Bell, has his fill of tacos. So if you're going to start sending him taco shots, you better make damn sure that taco shot's really amazing, because all he gets from photographers are taco shots. You'd be surprised how people who do those things, that's not their whole life, folks. You know, ground beef tacos with a little bit of shredded fake cheese on the top is not what they're all about. They're all about other things too. And you can get your point across. Now, I wouldn't send him a car shot, but I wouldn't hesitate to send him any food shot or any kind of fun photograph that would be creative and well done. He's a creative person first, a taco ad person second. So keep that in mind. So Jennifer, don't sit around trying to think, oh, what do I send these guys? What is it they want to see? Because there's no answer, because there's no they. You have a group of people who are highly individual. And Bob may hate seeing pictures of burgers, Linda loves pictures of burgers, right? You're never going to know. You just put your best shot out there that you think is your best shot and send it out. Within reason. Like I say, if it's an automotive magazine, I'm not sure landscape's the best way to go. If it's a food magazine, I'm not sure, fashion is the right thing to send. In the ad agency days, we used to get these promotions from photographers who did fashion, glamour. If all you had to do is go to our website and see, and by the way, we did have a website when we started. That's how we built our business, was we were doing websites. So we were up there. All you do is Google the website, find the website. Well, we didn't have Google then. So we Yahoo the website, you'd see who our clients were. You'd see what we did. We're doing medical technology and lots in the medical technology space, just tons, and consumer electronics, and which I hated doing, by the way. And it would be really easy, but they didn't even bother to do that. Back in the day, you just buy a mailing list of 2,500 ad agencies and just send them your stuff. That's insane today. Nobody would even think of doing that today. I mean, it would be a total waste of energies. All you need, Jennifer, in Miami is about 250 names that you go after. Takes you a while to build them up because you've got to find the right, you've got to know that you want to work with that client. So in other words, let's say it's a fashion wear client, or even better, a food client in Miami, not a restaurant, but a food client, somebody who handles on the wholesale end. And you really want to shoot with them, and you know that you can do a great job for them, then you target them in your list and you keep after them until they send you a cease and desist letter. You know what I'm saying? You don't shotgun stuff. It's a waste of your time. It's a waste of your assets. Spending money sending stuff to people you don't know, don't want. You should have a hot list and a hot list and a warm list and a cold list. A cold list is somebody says to me, "Oh, here's a great graphic design company." That goes on my cold list. I'm going to check them out. I haven't checked them out yet. They're in the cold list. I check them out and I find out that they do photography, because sometimes you'll get graphic design firms that don't do photography, folks. They do logos, or they only do illustration, or they do something else. You got to make sure, do they use photographers? So the answer is yes, they use photographers. Now I look at how much. I look at their work. They always have their work up there. That's how they get more work, just like you do, their portfolio. Okay, there's 20 pieces up there and 10 of them have photography. That goes into a hot lead for me. If there's 20 pieces and 2 of them have photography, that's a warm lead. Yeah, we're going to put them on there. I might send them a postcard. I'm not going to send them one of these, right? I'm not going to send them a $4.60 book. I'll send them a postcard or a little note card or something. I'm not going to spend that kind of money because I don't know what the return is. I save from moving them from warm to hot after I meet them or have some kind of conversation with them. Maybe at the art directors club, I meet them. Now, if we've met face to face, then whatever. When I get back to the studio or the office, I'll move them from warm to hot, because people hire people. People don't hire photographers, they hire people. They want to know who you are. What's your personality? How do you like things? How easy are you to work with? So that's how I do it. And I spend my bulk of time marketing to the hot and sometime marketing to the warm. But if I send something out to the warm, my warm list for a year and I never hear back, I take them off the list and I try to find somebody else to fill them in. But just in a big town like Miami, or New Jersey where Amy is, or Columbus where Mark is, 250 to 300 names tops is all you need. You'd probably be working with half of that for a long time. It's really targeted people. If you're in a small area like Stephanie, eventually she's going to probably need more because she has to reach out beyond where she is to find clients who come to where she is rather than just the local clients. So Stephanie should be marketing to the top business magazines in the US, Economist, Fortune, Business 2.0, what's another one? Anyway, you get my drift. And anything that does anything with location work, Traveler, Condé Nast, whatever. That for Stephanie, that's going to only be 25 names of those national magazines. But they hire photographers where she is these days with all this COVID crap going on. They're not hiring photographers to put them on an airplane and send them places, folks. They're finding people where y'all live. You got to let them know you live there. Got to let them know. Otherwise, they don't know, and then they find somebody else. So,
Don.
Hey, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think my next move kind of is that I like the little niche of where I am in these power co-ops and industrial. I really like that. So I think I was gonna reach out to at least the rest of Arizona. And there's actually a few that are in New Mexico that aren't too far. And I think I would rather travel, within the state or so, but just stay in the niche versus having to go out of the niche and do different kinds of photography. So I think that's kind of what I'm.
I'm saying if the Economist runs an ad on power that's what you want to get. You don't want to go out of your niche at all.
Yeah.
But you want to be the person that they use to do the shots in your area that you do, instead of having them find somebody in Albuquerque and send them
like
out.
finding local photographers that do that sort of specific work. Yeah.
Remember, every photographer is local somewhere.
True.
Right. So we're all local photographers, but yeah, I totally agree, Steph. I think there's enough building companies, construction companies, pipeline companies, power companies, the companies that are in business to help those, their vendors, to keep you pretty busy.
Yeah, there is a lot of work going on. I just gotta get the contacts.
Yep.
The one thing I was going to say is with the graphic designers, I've learned to start calling them before you send them anything, because a lot of them are kind of like we are, where they're not just they could be photographers and they're also doing graphic design. So you might see photography on their website. So I've started calling them and asking them if they do their own photography or if they will outsource it, because I've had a surprising number say that they do it themselves.
That's another reason why I keep telling all you guys to learn graphic design.
Yep.
It's not that hard. Amy, you're a designer. Would you agree with me that you can become a qualified, you're not going to be polisher in a year, but you can be a qualified graphic designer in a year if you put your mind to it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned on the job, actually. I got a freelance job at an old sports magazine that I think has folded. And they just taught me, and I just kind of went with it for years and then fell into photography and realized I
Yep.
preferred doing that. And I was a much better photographer than I was a designer. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. If
But
it's the kind of design that you're going to be asked to do these days is web design
Mhm.
and small amounts of print, brochures, flyers, and things like that. And I really think if you put your mind to it, you can learn to do, you can be an acceptable, decent graphic designer in a year. I think the hardest thing to learn is to do typography. But then when I see 90% of the web, I think, well, they didn't learn that either. So I
Yeah.
would never say don't bother with it because nobody else cares. I would say be the guy who does, be the person who does care about typography on the web and on print. And with your photography, you can really, really go great. Back in the 80s, one of the number one creative shops in Boston that did annual reports and very big company ads, like they had Boeing, it's a pretty good sized company and stuff, was led by a photographer. Creative director was a photographer and a very good photographer. And that was unusual because even today, ad agencies are generally run by copywriters or illustrators, rarely photographers. Time for that to change, guys. Time for that to change. Because when you look around today, photography is advertising. It really is. Amy, when you were designing stuff, how much illustration did you use?
We would commission a little for book covers when I was doing that, but not that much illustration, really.
Back in the 90s, early 2000s, you'd get the workbook, from LA.
Oh, yeah.
Be about this thick, and then you'd get one all illustrators, right? And
Mhm.
it'd be just a little bit less. Today, it's about that thick.
Oh, wow.
They're just having a hard time, photography has won that battle. Not that there aren't great illustrators, because, oh my God, there's some incredible illustrators out there. But the web is design and photography in this order: design, photography, illustration. Or maybe design, photography, copy, illustration. Because like you were saying, Mark, every graphic designers go, oh yeah, I need a little thing for the call to action down there. They're not going to call an illustrator. They're going to pop up on Envato or Creative Market or somewhere, buy a little $3 thing, bring it down, recolorize it, and stick it in.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of the
business.
I think that's where a lot of the illustrators have gone, because it's easier for them to do that, create a pack, set it up on Creative Market or wherever, and then make their money that way.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right, because there's tons of illustration on Creative Market. I think you're absolutely right, and I think people who are doing really exceptional work, the polishers of that industry, right? There's plenty of really high-end work for high-end illustrators. It's the middle group that always suffers, the middle class of anything suffers. Rarely does the middle class go up. Middle class generally sinks into the lower classes. Wedding photography. There are wedding photographers out there getting 20 grand for a wedding. There are. But wedding photographers in that middle niche have been stuck at about 2,500 to 5,000 for the last 2 decades. And they're being attacked. They're not being attacked from above, right? Nobody attacks from above. Nobody goes, hey, I'm doing a $20,000 wedding. I want to get some of those $3,000 weddings too. Yeah, they don't do that. But the people down, the low bidders, they're chomping or constantly chewing the bottom out and moving up. And then you end up with the weirdest dichotomy of all, is the cheap wedding photographer who does a really blasted great job. I mean, what do you do then? I mean, it's easy to go, well, yeah, they were cheap. They don't do a good job. And you look at the pictures and go, well, he did a really nice job for what, $300?
Yeah, that's why you want to grab them by their shirt and say, stop ruining it for everybody
What
else.
is
Charge
wrong
the
with you? You know, what is it? But to be fair, that kid's a barista. He's 20 years old. He's a barista for Starbucks in a Safeway store. Boy, that's got to be a glamorous job, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's making caramel macchiatos for soccer moms all day for minimum wage, maybe a little bit more than minimum wage. And he comes in on a Saturday and makes $300, probably cash, probably, I'm just going to guess, tax-free, right? And that's a lot of money
Yeah.
for him. And then we stand there, we must look like arrogant assholes in a way. We're going, yeah, well, you're ruining it for me because I make $2,000. And he's going, 2,000, I don't make 2,000 a month. You know, cry me a river, Mr. Hotshot Photography. But that's the person who doesn't know the business, and we can't fix it for him. We just hopefully they learn someday and get better at it. So all right.
I have a quick question for you.
Yeah, please.
Editing photos from the restaurant with the environmental stuff. There's TV that's turned on that's part of the environment.
Yeah.
Do I need to worry about the show that's on the screen?
Wow, that's like one notch over my pay grade. I've never even thought about that.
Well, we got talking
no,
about
I don't think
tattoos.
you do. I think they may.
Well, I don't want them to kick the
I don't-
photo back. And
I don't
have
think so.
their-
Have you talked to them, your
No,
client?
no, I don't
Your
know
client-
if they would
what does
know.
what does your client say though? They don't care.
The sales,
Yeah.
the salesperson doesn't know that, and it's kind of going along with what we were talking about before. They're not photographers; they're just hiring the photographers, taking the work and regurgitating it. So
I would go ahead. I wouldn't worry about it.
don't worry about it.
I really wouldn't worry about it. It's it's being broadcast in the place. It's free advertising. if somebody raised a stink, it would not be with you anyway, Mark. It'd be because remember, you're work for hire.
Right. But I also want to learn at the point because
Yeah.
with what I'm
Okay.
doing, I'm like, this is stupid. I can go do this myself. And if they're charging what they're charging for subscription, the work's out there.
Sure it
So I
is.
wanted to learn, like, in a regular situation. I mean, I can easily put a Gaussian blur or whatever. I just didn't know what the proper thing was to do.
I don't think I just don't think it'd be an issue for what you're doing. I think it
Okay.
might, if you were doing an ad for Harley Davidson or something, there may be some issues with that, but you'd have to have all the taps covered so it didn't say Coors on the thing and all that crap that they go through on that. But for what you're doing, no, I don't think so.
Okay. Kind of goes along like that glass with the beer logo on it. It's
Yeah.
whatever, just part of
Yeah.
the environment. So it's
Well,
fine.
it's their, and it's their glass. It belongs
Yeah.
to the bar. The TV belongs to the bar. The broadcast, however, I think it would be implied that it would be fair to shoot it. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about it. Not at
Okay.
all. But damn good question. Damn good. That took me by surprise. I was like, I never really thought about that. Well, I know YouTube will ding me if my radio is playing in the background.
Mhm.
They'll come on and say, yeah, I can't do that. So I'm very, very careful about making sure I don't do that. Yeah, cool. Good question. You guys want to find out a little bit about Photoshop since it's hot on my mind? And I learned this from my color guy.
Yes.
Who knows all the different color settings in Photoshop and what they're for?
There is 3 million.
All right. I didn't see anybody say I know them all. Okay. This is pretty cool because I said to him, okay, I said, Steve, don't tell me, show me like I'm 5 years old. What do I need to do? Okay. So let me bring an image up so we can use this image. Will this one come up?
Did he crack the code?
He cracked the code of color in Photoshop. All right, here we go. Let me share this with you guys. Okay, you should be seeing my Photoshop, right?
Yep.
Okay. And this is gonna who prints at home?
I want to.
Okay. All right. If you print at home, I will tell you this. This is something that I did not know, but Steve is the god. Your modern printers will print Adobe RGB. If your printer is less than 5 years old, your printer will print our Adobe RGB. I'm like, oh, that's pretty damn cool. So under your color settings, you have, I think it's under edit, and you come down and you have the first one. Let me see if I can do this. Can I bring this over here? If I do this, can you see the drop down? Is it being, you can, okay. Color settings. Put your color setting at Adobe RGB. Like, this is where you put your color setting. Don't mess with any of these other things here. That's all fine. Your CMYK, this you do when you're working with a printer because you want to, this is just sort of set up as a default. Dot gain 20%. Believe me, I don't work with any printers who have that much dot gain. But if it's a newspaper or something, they may have that. Leave that alone. That's where you set the color setting for your pictures that you're editing. Okay. Then you have this one, and I hope I'm actually right, assign profile. Okay. Mine keeps coming up to this display P3. I want it to be on working stuff here. So I hit preview. Now, look at the picture. See the picture change? Is it coming through?
Yeah, it's subtle, but it's coming through.
It's subtle. So I have to go for mine keeps doing this display P3. So I come in and I set assign the profile to the working profile I'm using. Now, everybody, you've all been told you have to use sRGB for the web, and you do. You do. So if I come in here and I do this and I go edit, assign profile, and I come down here and I go, okay, I want an sRGB. Where the hell is sRGB? Here it is.
Top.
Nope.
Up above the line.
Yeah, there we go. You see that? See the change? I'll go back here. I'll go back to Adobe 1998. Now watch the change. See the pink? Now here's the secret. Leave this alone. Run your Adobe RGB in there. This is the one that I could never figure out, and that's this little bad boy, convert to profile. It's like, wait a minute, I already assigned it a profile. Why the hell do I want to convert to a profile? Okay, watch this. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to go to color match RGB. Now watch sorry, go back. I'm going to go back here to assign profile. Now watch the image change as I go down to color match. You see that? It changed, didn't it? It's color match now. Or I can go to Pro Photo RGB. Wow, look at the colors in Pro Photo, right? And I like those colors. So I say, okay. Now the hands go up and go, Don, you can't print Pro Photo. I go up to, and I'm so proud of myself because I finally figured this shit out. It's only been 27 years, but hey, I'm down with it now. So we come over here and we go down to convert to profile. So I take it and I convert it to Adobe 1998. Watch. It doesn't change. What it did was it said, okay, these are the colors you want. We're going to give you those colors in the Adobe 1998 color space. Now, some of them may have changed here and there, but the Adobe is doing everything it can to preserve the colors you saw. And therefore you can print ProPhoto, which we all love dearly, as an Adobe 1998. Does it work? For the first time yesterday, I printed a picture off my screen that if I taped it up here, and it's dead on. All the other stuff I've printed, I've always had to go, okay, it's got to be a little lighter than the screen, or it's got to be a little bit darker than the screen, or I'm going to lose this. Dead on. And I'm like, oh my God.
Which step was it that you put it to ProPhoto?
I put it to ProPhoto in this one. Assign profile. This is where I got all this big list here. I can assign it a Epson RGB. Okay, you saw it. It got a little muted, right? You saw the
Yeah.
color change?
Yeah.
Say, we're going to say, okay. Now we're going to go back to convert to profile. I'm going to say, thank you. Let's convert to, it was Epson RGB, right? Epson RGB. Now watch it. It will not change. Oh, it did. It did change. I wonder why it did that. Oh, I probably, because Epson RGB is way farther away from Adobe 1998. And I'm sorry. No. We had it on. See, we had the color we liked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now we assign it Adobe RGB 1998. Now that looks like the one we assigned Epson to.
Okay.
That's what we did. That's why, because it doesn't change. The image doesn't change unless, of course, you have some radical color somewhere. When you're printing, you bring down your printer profile. If you've got a good printer, you'll have two things. Photoshop manages color or printer manages colors. If your printer's 3 years old, printer manages colors. Not Adobe Photoshop, printer. You go up to your print settings. You go to color settings or color matching. And in color matching, you make sure that you have Epson color controls on, because Epson's color controls are amazingly good. But what you want to do is you want to try both. You want to try Photoshop to use colors and Epson. With my test yesterday, 27 odd sheets of paper, I let the printer do the colors and I did color matching Epson color controls. If you have it on color sync, all kinds of weird crap will come on. You get this big thing, you can drop it down and choose. These are what the printer says a premium glossy paper would come out as. I don't do that. I go right to Epson color controls because I've already set everything else up in my color space. Does that make sense?
Yep. And here's the other question for you.
Question.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Lee.
Lee, go ahead.
Thank you. What
Yeah.
happened if you want to? What happened if the image to the lab? Did you send it with the same?
Yes. Yes. You send it exactly how you want to see it.
So you keep it and you send the image you save to the lab.
Yes. So let's say you do your work in ProPhoto, so you get all that magic color, right? You save it as Adobe 1998, and then you send it to the lab. And they print as close to that beautiful color as you got, because the 1998 just took its profile, as Steve explained, and it converted the Adobe 1998. It converted the ProPhoto to it. It didn't it converted it to the one you wanted. Now, well, Don, I want to print on the web. I want to put this on the web. File. Where's it? Export. Save for web. I save for web. There's my JPEG. What this does, this little save for web thing, it converts it to sRGB. When I hit save for web, it converts it to sRGB, the closest sRGB space it can get to what you've asked it to do.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Right. Yes.
You will lose a little color. You're always going to lose color going from Adobe to sRGB, but you will lose the minimum amount of color because what it's doing here is essentially assigning the profile sRGB to the picture so the browsers see it, but the pixels have changed color to try as best they can to match your thing.
Right.
Isn't it cool or what?
Printer's still printing and seeing. Printer's still printing and seeing. Okay. It's just matching those colors. It converts to seeing okay and matches those colors. It's a tremendous idea.
It's pretty darn cool. I mean, I'm very much really happy. I'm printing a lot of stuff. I've been printing a lot of stuff and I've been fighting it, the prints. I hate it when you have to print it 3 times, you know, to keep tweaking it. Yesterday, I printed 10 prints in a row, greens, reds, wheat colored prints, everything. And they just absolutely matched my monitor. And I was like, oh my God.
What are you using for a printer? Because we need to get a new printer. Mine is
well, I'm using an Epson 1430. It's 7 color inks. I'm sure it's probably an Epson 1440 by now. It wasn't terribly expensive.
no medium format.
It does wide format, so it does the 13 by 19 paper. So, you know, it's pretty nice. I've been very happy with it. The key to longevity for printers is you've got to print something every week. You cannot let that printer sit for a month without the inkjets blowing. If they dry, you're done. You cannot fix it.
Yeah.
You'll never be able to blow that inkjet out.
My
So-
problem is the counter. It's over the counter number because they build in a life cycle to these printers, and once you hit a certain print number, it's like the printer pad needs to be changed, and then you have to get it serviced and all that stuff. And as old as it is, it's just cheaper to replace it.
Yeah, but you don't want to let the ink dry. That's the
No.
problem. The ink's coming out of these tiny, almost inconceivably small holes. You know, 1440 pixel, whatever. That's an incredibly tiny hole. If that ink dries in the hole and it dries up enough where the adding new ink can't break it through, then that's it. You have to replace the heads and you might as well buy a new machine. I mean, just taking a printer down to the post office to mail it to Epson to be fixed. Yeah, screw that. I'll just go buy a new machine, have Amazon deliver it. So really pleased with it. This whole understanding this color finally sank in, finally made it. And like, I'm a printing fool now. All right. Any other questions? Well, thanks everybody for coming out, and try this if you're printing at home. Mark, I would tell you to look at Canon or Epson. Both of them are excellent printers.
Yeah.
I use third-party ink.
Hey, Don,
Yeah.
before you go, the Epson, does it does black and white?
Well, it's only got
Does
one.
your Epson does black and white?
It only has one black thing, so its black and white is not the best. Lee, I would tell you to buy a 4-color printer, which would be an inexpensive printer, okay? And then you can buy the black and white inks. You can buy black, dark gray, medium gray, very light gray. You put them in, you replace them, and then that printer just does black and white. It will do just black and white forever because you can't convert it back to color. It it takes months to get that stuff cleared out. But oh man, that really works well, Lee. You can get
Oh my God, you're up.
yeah,
Wow,
you can
what
get
a
$100 4-color printer with 4 black shades of gray and then print some amazing black and white.
yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
That's great. That's great.
All right.
Cool.
Okay. Hey, thanks everybody for coming out on Photo Talk Friday. We had a good time. And I'm headed to California because I can't wait to spend $9 a gallon on gas. It's going to be a amazing experience. No, actually, we're going to fill up in Yuma. Hopefully only buy a couple of gallons in California and fill back up in Quartzsite on the way back out of there. So man, oh man. So anyway, everybody have a great one. We'll see you next time. Take care.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.